Good afternoon. Today is the 6th day of our celebration of the Banned Book Week. We are going to talk about censorship and amendment. But what is censorship? What do you mean by censorship? Censorship is the suppression of ideas and information that certain persons, individuals, groups, or government officials find objectionable or dangerous. It is no more complicated than someone saying, "Don't let anyone read this book, or buy that magazine, or view that film because I object to it." Censors try to use the power of the state to impose their view of what is truthful and appropriate, or offensive and objectionable on everyone else. Censors pressure public institutions like libraries to suppress and remove information they judge inappropriate or dangerous from public access, so that no one else has the chance to read or review the material and make up their own minds about it. The censor wants to prejudge material for everyone. Now, how can we fight these things? Censorship. We, the citizens of this country, are protected by our First Amendment rights. What is the First Amendment right? Or the First Amendment? First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The First Amendment, this is the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, passed by Congress on September 25, 1789, and was ratified in December 15, 1791. This means that the First Amendment gives everyone residing in the United States the right to hear all sides of every issue and to make their own judgment about those issues without government interference or limitations. The First Amendment allows individuals to speak, publish, read, and view what they wish, worship or not worship as they wish, associate with whomever they choose, and gather together to ask the government to make changes in the law and to correct the wrongs in society. The right to speak and the right to publish under the First Amendment has been interpreted widely to protect individuals and society from government attempts to suppress ideas and information, and to forbid government censorship of books, magazines, and newspapers, as well as art, film, music, and materials on the Internet. The Supreme Court and other courts have held conclusively that there is a First Amendment right to receive information. The right to receive information is a corollary to the right to speak. When the Supreme Court considered whether a local school board violated the Constitution by removing books from a school library, it held that the right to receive ideas is a necessary predicate to the recipient's meaningful exercise of his own rights of speech, press, and political freedom. Public schools and public libraries as public institutions have been the setting for legal battles about student access to books, removal or retention of offensive material, regulation of patron behavior, and limitation on public access to the Internet. Restrictions and censorship of materials in public institutions are most commonly prompted by public complaints. Government officials in the form of the library board or school administration are ever mindful of the importance their neighbors may place on religious values, moral sensibilities, and protecting children from offensive materials. So directly or indirectly, ordinary citizens are the driving force behind the challenges to the Internet, information, and ideas. The First Amendment protects public institutions from having to compromise the ideals of free speech by establishing a framework that defines critical rights and responsibilities. It protects the freedom of speech, thought, and inquiry, and advocates respect for the right of others to do the same. In closing, let me read to you the Article 3 of the Library Bill of Rights that states libraries should challenge censorship in the fulfillment of the responsibility to provide information and enlightenment. And in case you're wondering where I got all this information that I shared to you, the reference is the ala.org/advocacy/end-freedom censorship. Thank you all for listening and hope you enjoyed and learned something today about censorship and our First Amendment rights. See you tomorrow.